Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Barcast TV episode. My name is Kurt, and I'll be your host. Let's get into the game. So, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, as the red pieces, we have our commander, Goopy, and his opponent spawning as the blue pieces. In the top right corner of the map, we have ZLO. So, what is this map? It is Theta crystals. And we can see those crystals are actually shown across the map here on these plateaus. We can see this kind of mass sprinkled at the base of these little mountains here. Those can be reclaimed by engineers, commanders, and our resbots. So it'll be interesting to see how our players try and incorporate that into their opens. Looks like we have an average wind speed of about 16 this map, so windmills are definitely going to be used here. So ZLO opening bot lab first. And his opponent has chosen Air Factory. Never seen this before. He's got 4 windmills into 5 more after an Air Factory open. Interesting to see what he's going to choose to build. Looks like he's going to do Bomber first into Scout and then Shuriken Paralyzer Drone. That's interesting. Not sure what his plans are with that, but it's going to be cool to see how this open plays out. I've never seen this before, so yep, looks like it's going to go. How does this work with the income, though? Let's see. So he still has 300 mass left in the bank. He's kind of balancing his energy income right now. Hopefully this wind holds up, and looks like it's not going to cooperate. It is falling quickly, and that could force a stall here. This bomber is about halfway done. So, yeah, looks like he's going to end up stalling here, unfortunately. Can't do nothing about it. This wind, that's what happens when you open wind power. Yeah, he's going to just go right into this solar plant. He wants to get this bomber out as quickly as possible. So that forces him to make the solar collector. Would have had that bomber out a little bit sooner. Would have saved himself a little bit of mass there. Said he's forced to make that. Looks like ZLO is opened a couple grunts into engineer. Another grunt. Wonder when he's going to make these grave robbers, but yeah, he's just got quite a few grunts queued up along with 5 aggravators. And same story. Wind power is now below 3. This forces our blue player to construct a couple of these solar plants to kind of make up for that energy income. It's definitely unfortunate when the wind doesn't quite cooperate. Yeah, and finally this bomber is out, followed by the scout. So he needs to send that across the map because it looks like this bomber is queued up to do a bombing run, just kind of assuming his opponent has some economy right there. That is not the case, as our Russian player chose to spawn in a kind of different location here. A little unfortunate pathing. He actually slows down to traverse across this mountain here, and that's gonna cost him at least one bombing run. It's gonna give our player time to get up this Thistle anti-air tower. That is unfortunate. Rather bad micro, not bad micro, but unfortunate situation. This grunt is going to be paralyzed by the Shuriken. Oh, there you go. That's one way to deal with counter damage. It looks like Goopy actually ended up reclaiming the air factory. He's going to make a bot factory of his own. And I hear a bomb going off. Looks like he did get one down. Is able to knock out 1 mech and a couple wind turbines. Didn't quite see that, but I don't really think that was completely effective at the cost of an early game bot factory, but we'll see how this plays out. We have 11 mass income to 7.5 in favor of ZLO. And that one grunt is going to get cleaned up again. Wow, this Shuriken is doing work. It's going to paralyze this grunt for the Goopies to come in and clean that up. So money well spent. So it'll clean up these little incursions. And we can see Goopy is finally choosing to expand with an engineer and has gotten out a grave robber of his own to kind of res this grunt. Res another one over here. Looks like ZLO has 3 more grunts moving into position just to try and control the map, figure out where his opponent's at. And Goopy has this Finch scout kind of patrolling on the map, seeing where the incoming raids are coming from. Grave Robber is raising another bot. Looks like his commander is continuing to assist his bot factory. We have another engineer out. We can take a look at the main player's bases. We have 230 energy income for Goopy. on the low side of the map. He's just trailing right behind him with 205, but more than twice the mass income. That's not where you want to be 5 minutes into the game. At a 10 mass deficit to your opponent. You can take a look at the statistics, although metal produce is relatively even for now, 3.1k to 3k. So not far behind somehow. This would be an interesting replay to study. Never really see Air Factory opens. Or Air Factory first, I should say. Does have the added consequence of forcing ZLO to make these Tech 1 trashers, anti-air bots, as well as put up 2 of these Thistle light anti-air towers. We can see though with the result of ZLO choosing the starting location, he is more spread out across the map on the left and right side and is gaining control of this plateau. Whereas goopy just is sitting on his own plateau here and is yet to expand down to these lower mexes. So definitely playing a part in this income. Let's take a look at statistics. Yeah, so now there's a 600 mass deficit between our two players. 6 minutes into the game. For those of you who don't know, grunts are about 36 mass apiece. So you do the math. 36 into 700. So no player choosing out on another factory, and looks like both are just staying inside their main base. Both commanders are staying inside the main base, assisting their own bot factories. Construction turret going up. Missed it in the right side. Looks like engineer was cleaned up and one of those anti-air towers by this pack of 5 grunts, and that's gonna give goopy an opening. ZLO is rotating around to the right to stop this counterattack, but he is leaving himself open. Let's go to player view. ZLO catching these units on the right side, but he is letting these grunts on the left side move into position, loses a radar tower. That's going to lose a vision of those units. He did not have one built in his main base. So moving in with these grunts. There's a couple of them that have already been rezzed here. Takes out an engineer, a wind turbine. Takes out a couple grunts. Just pulls back. It's a nice little raid. Still has this raid on the right side, taking out 2 more mexes. That is not good. ZLO completely out of position. These grunts are able to rotate north and take out this plateau too. An LLT is not enough to take care of 15 grunts. He's going to lose an LLT, an engineer, an anti-air bot, an X, and that's not the only X he's going to lose. These grave robbers are forced to retreat, and goopy is evening up this game. Look at the income now. It's just about even. See, we have 15, 13 income for our blue player, and actually no, the script has been flipped here. We have about 25 mass income per tick for our red player, so definitely what he needed to do, but looks like ZLO is sending in counter damage, and I see no grunts in position to stop this raid here. These grunts on the left side are moving towards ZLO's side of the map, and he has 3 grunts moving into position here. One paralyzer drone still causing issues, paralyzing this one drone. It's gonna lose 1 mex, gonna lose 2 mex. Oh, not quite. This one's gonna go down though. So 2 mexes lost. Still more damage to come. We have another two grunts moving in on the left side. He's gonna take out this engineer even, I'm sure. Take out another mex. This is evening up the game. And we see 22 mass income to 11. Looks like these grunts on ZLO's plateau finished cleaning it up, and they're just kind of retreating, whereas ZLO is getting his own counter damage done on the side of the map. Looks like he's gonna lose 2 engineers, multiple mexes, before he gets in a position with his own grunts to clean up these run buys. So, wow, that is crazy counter damage, honestly. That's right what he needed to be to get back in the game. Master Bale says, expansion is worthless if you don't defend it. Well, for those of you who don't know, in the words of Wayra, he expands and then defends it. For those of you who know. So it looks like the game is slowing down a little bit. We still have ZLO giving chase to these grunts. He's going to deny them from retreating across that little cliff. And he's going to give chase. He wants to track these down and take them out. Some free mass, free reclaim if he's able to clean these up. For these grave robbers, looks like ZLO is able to kind of repair and reclaim. Wow, that is such a great use. You're able to instantly get these mexes back online along with its defensive turret. So great use of these grave robbers. It's really cool to see. Back on Goopy's side of the map, more run-bys just being taken care of, and we can see about grunt counts look about, can't quite tell, there's about a pack of 27 here. Looks like ZLO's got about, you know, the same amount. So relatively even grunt numbers, relatively even economies. It's crazy, 4 mass apiece difference, 10 minutes into the game. And we can see that metal produced gap deficit is decreased to about 300, so looks like Goopy controlled K to those grunts here. He's going to deny ZLO the reclaim and the bots, and ZLO's out of position to catch this incursion onto his side of the map. Goopy just came over the hill with his grunts and is coming down into this valley, taking out engineers, taking out mexes, denying expansions. Still reducing ZLO to this top right corner of the map, and you can see both players just barely are able to hold on to their own plateaus and these kind of light expansions down onto the low ground. Looks like one grunt is going to get cleaned up on this right side. Bottom side. Yep. Goopy turns and fights. Looks like he split up his grunt force on either side with a 2-prong attack here. ZLO's rotated to the right side. He has some units on the left side, so both these grunt forces are going to be shoot away. ZLO's commander stepped out of the main base, and he's going to be retaking this expansion to the right side. Goopy's commander is still in the main base, just assisting his bot factory. He has his energy storage up, so that's going to make wind speed going down not being such a crippling blow if you kind of start stalling a little bit. And he has these advanced solar collectors coming online, so it looks like he's gearing up to kind of a T1.5, T2 phase of the game. Finally, 12 minutes into the game. A small grunt fight here, leaves a little bit of a reclaimed field, and Goopy also has this high ground here on the left side. ZLO moves to the right, so he moves to the left. Kind of smart play here. Let's take a look at the player cams again. Looks like Goopy zooming away, and looks like he's adding on some construction turrets. Take a look at ZLO. Zoomed out. Something I noticed about these higher level players is they spend a lot of the game zoomed out, making their commands and issues. Completely top-down view, it's interesting to see. So ZLO is able to kind of line up his grunts here in a nice arc and prevent any kind of run-bys. And on the left side, Goopy's moving in. He's going to catch these isolated thugs here, and they're slow firing and slow moving, so it can be made short work out. Looks like he takes one out at the cost of 1 grunt. Just pulls back. Can't take on a mixture of 2, and ZLO's been able to produce a vehicle factory. He has these riot tanks coming out, these pounders. I'm not sure the difference between the riot tanks and brutes. Looks like they have about equal mass cost here, so we'll see how those units fare against the grunts of Goopy. ZLO trying to slip through, runs by 4 grunts. Goopy splits off a small detachment to try and chase those down while holding onto this lane. Goopy is controlling this left side, but not for long. Looks like ZLO is massing an army of thugs, grunts, and these pounder tanks. He's got 7 already built on the map, and I bet you he's going to be pushing up that mountain here in a minute. Still a small contingent of grave robbers running around, doing what work they can, rezzing bots, grabbing reclaim. As the game goes on, and as these reclaim fields get larger and larger, that reclaim becomes more and more important. Looks like we're going to have an engagement here. Unless Goopy tries to move back here, we have 28 grunts to 36, so now 41 to 36, relatively even numbers. And on this left side here, Goopy comes down the mountain again. Looks like he grabs another mex. He's going to grab another mex, so that's 2, and he's going to run into these pounders. And you can kind of see why ZLO made them. They are making short work of these thugs, or brutes. And an engagement on the right side. I think both players are going to lose most of their armies here. He's trying to chase down these grave robbers, but that's not what you want. Just a pack of 10 grave robbers so close to the reclaim field as soon as that battle's over. Goopy is able to start rezzing his own units, old units rather. So forced to move back. They still have 1 thug in the area and a couple grunts, so he just isn't quite able to control this reclaim field just yet. ZLO's commander is sitting right there, and he's going to turret push onto this. So great use of the commander trying to lay claim to this reclaim field that's developed. Looks like we have a group of 8-pounders moving on to the right side. That's going to reinforce the grunts of ZLO. Still just on the 2 factories. Looks like Goopy's added on a land factory of his own. Sorry, vehicle factory of his own. So 2 factories apiece for each player. Can take a look at the mass incomes. About 60 to 50 kind of looks like, less the reclaim. It's almost dead even here though. Almost double the mass, double the energy income for our red player. So we'll see how he uses that. Have a couple run-bys in here. Just grunts still doing work. 15 minutes of the game, running by, blowing up nexus. Not what you want to have happen. See, slowly but surely, ZLO is controlling his side of the map. Mixing in anti-air, mixing in T1 vehicles into these bot armies. So 8-pounders on the right side, 4 on the left. And looks like Goopy has chosen to make these brute tanks, so we'll get a chance to see how those two stand against each other. And here's a real advantage for ZLO. He has complete control of this reclaim field. That's not what you want to have happen when you're down in mass to your opponent. See a small engagement on the left side. Looks like Goopy's going to try and push up this hill. Contest this. We see pounders versus brute battle. Those pounders are decent against these vehicles as well. They're slow firing, but they pack a punch. I wonder how those actually do 1 versus 1. Grunt army on the right side moving into position, just trying to let Goopy secure this bottom right side of the map. We have these brute tanks just controlling this hill for Goopy. And finally, ZLO moving in grave robbers of his own. He's going to be resing this little reclaim field of bots. Maybe why he chose not to reclaim this with his commander. He just wanted to get up these static defenses and take these mechs while his grave robbers are able to reclaim this little field. So it's going to make a big difference here in a couple minutes time. He's going to have a much larger standing army than his opponent. So 40 grunts and 1 shuriken to 11 pounders, 2 thugs and 15 grunts, but that's not going to be 15 grunts for long with about a dozen grave robbers. Looks like Goopy's moving down this left side. He's going to try and take out a couple mexes, just push. I doubt if he'll totally commit to an attack on this right side. Goopy has a nice, ZLO has a nice mixture of units. Thugs, pounders, incisors, grunts, rascals. So it's going to force Goopy back up on his side of the map, and going to allow ZLO to secure this bottom part of his little field right here. One of the spectators asking Randy, who do you think will win? Looks like ZLO. I'm not sure. He's put up another air factory, so we're going to see how he makes work of these shurikens as they enter the battlefield. And I just think these units are absolutely awesome. Able to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 units out of the equation, and that's just going to stop them from moving and allow these tanks to clean them up. So pretty much free units. ZLO's forced to retreat, and Goopy's pushing down that plateau. He's going to take out maybe an engineer, gets 1 mex, 2 mexes, takes out an air turret. Give an opportunity for these resbots to come into play. Looks like those shurikens have rotated to the bottom right side, anticipating an attack from ZLO. And look at this force: 51 grunts, 11 pounders, and 2 thugs. Versus just 46 grunts. You could definitely win an engagement if you chose to take one. But looks like he's responding to this brute pressure on the left side of the map. Oh, look at that. 3 engineers grouped together are going to be 2-shotted by this pounder tank. Those things do work. Yeah, those pounders are pretty good. Seem to be a little bit better than these brutes. I'm not sure why. It looks like you hold the space bar and take a look. OS. Not sure where the health is right away. Alright, this whole army of ZLOs is rotating to the top, and just left a small contingent of pounders and thugs on this right side. He is going to stop this advance, though. If he is able to group up this army, he's going to force our red player back up that side of the mountain. And this map is getting split right down the middle, as it tends to do in these 1v1 situations. You end up going split map, and I'd like that. Probably going to see one of these players try and get the tech 2. Looks like ZLO staying on the 2 factories. Goopy stopped making air units. Looked like he just wanted to get out that group of, ooh, I'm gonna eat my words. Looks like he produced 5 bombers. Oh my goodness. Look at the splash damage. Oh, it doesn't quite connect with that huge group, but just throws in a volley, pulls back some good micro. Doesn't fly immediately over the main base and lose all his bombers. He's gonna make another run at this group of tanks here. They're gonna spread out but take a lot of damage. No engagement on the right side, but Goopy is definitely posturing. ZLO has a larger force here on the right, and looks like he's got tech 2 units actually. A Fiend found its way into the battle. Looks like he got up a T2 factory at some point. Oh, that's this advanced bot lab here. I did not spot that. So T2 units finally on the field for ZLO, and that's going to make a big difference. These Fiends eat up units. They're fast. They do a lot of splash damage. Looks like we got another bombing gun coming in. He's targeting that Fiend. Goes down. Gonna pull back from those PDDs, and I'm not sure why Goopy would choose to pull up that push up the mountain. He doesn't really have to. Just needs to control the space, deny the mass econ, and just there's not really even much of a reclaim field here, so that would not be a good move to push up that mountain, lose a bunch of units, and leave a reclaim field for your opponent, who seems to be slightly ahead eco-wise, 70 to 63. Chooses to make a bombing run over this main base, and those 2 anti-air turrets make short work of those bombers. Doesn't get as much work as done, and here comes the engagement. 24 tanks against these Fiends and Grunts. Not sure where the battle's going to go. Goopy pulling back, ZLO pulling back, so neither player choosing to completely commit to an attack. The game is so even right now. Just a 1k mass difference, 2k mass difference, you know, 21 minutes plus into the game. That's a really close game here. We see Goopy is rotating all of his units to the left side of the map. Looks like he's going to group up for one big attack, and hopefully he doesn't lose these tanks before he's able to group his army up. ZLO moving in with Fiends, taking the engagement. Fiends and Grunts doing work, making short work of these T1 tanks, but Goopy was able to put up some of these PDDs, so that's going to force ZLO back. This game is getting close, coming to a head. This huge swell of Grunts rotating on the left side of the map. Can ZLO sniff this out? Is he going to rotate his army to the right side, left side? We'll see, but Goopy's chosen the moment. He is pushing forward with his tank army. ZLO's commander out of position, not going to be able to degun this. And he is going straight for the main base. ZLO caught out of position. So many tanks rolling in. Going to take an engagement with the Fiends. First line kind of goes down, but there is more behind it. And look at the swell of 114 Grunts. Jeez Louise. He is splitting his units up. He's winning on both sides. He's taking out the main base, taking out the standing army as low. And these Grunts just moving down. He's gonna snipe this commander if ZLO's not careful, but what doesn't matter? His main base is completely destroyed. What a run by Goopy. ZLO moving into the water, and that's going to let these Grunts go uncontested. 112 Grunts, wow. And what a move. Goopy sniffing it out, just gathering his army on one side and pushing strong. Where did ZLO go wrong? Looks like he's saying no E. Stalled at some point. I didn't catch it, but that's the game. Wow. Well, I hope you all like the replay. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. If you want to see Bar grow as a sport as I do, then like and subscribe. See you all in the next one.